mindset today is like squat errors. You don't want to fix one corner and then a bit.
What's going on, guys? It's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in today. So we're talking about my BMW 335D, the car I'm currently driving. It currently has 140,000 miles. That's a lot of miles, and I expect it to last much more than that. So I wanted to share with you guys some tips and tricks on how to make your BMW 335D last basically forever. I mean, this car has been a daily commuter in the Pennsylvania and New Jersey and New York area since I bought it back in 2014. This is a long time ago, and I've put over 100,000 miles on this thing. So stay tuned. I'm going to go over 10 things to do to make sure this thing lasts for as long as really you want to own it. So first, a few caveats. So yes, a lot of things can last a long time, but nothing really lasts forever. Now with that said, the 335D, and for that matter, the X5 35D, tend to last a very long time. I've seen 335Ds with over 300,000 miles and still going. So this car is honestly one of the best made cars out there. It's a little bit complicated on certain things, and we'll go over basically everything that has to do with this car to make sure it lasts, basically, like I said, as long as you want. So with that caveat, again, if you crash it, if you continuously hit potholes, if you treat it like a raggedy old car, don't clean it, don't take care of it, of course it's not gonna last. So to begin with, the first thing I would do if I owned a BMW 335D would be to do, of course, the ABC deletes. Now, if you don't know what the ABC delete is, it's what we call the deletes on these 335Ds and the X5Ds. It's a few things. So you have to delete the DPF. There's a DPF right in the middle of it. They go bad. They tend to go bad at around 120,000 miles. So you have to replace it. And furthermore, that DPF is also going to kind of clog up the system. It's going to force the engine to work a little harder. It's not that big a deal, to be honest with you. DPF can be made to work pretty well on most vehicles, but I would remove the DPF first and foremost. The second thing, and this is actually something that breaks all the time on 335Ds, and that's the SCR system, the DEF injection system, the diesel exhaust fluid injection system. Now, most modern diesels come with diesel exhaust fluid injection systems, and usually they work okay for a while. The problem is it's injecting DEF fluid, and DEF fluid can cake up, it can crystallize, and it can clog up a lot of the nozzles and sensors that it uses to kind of make sure everything's running okay. So it's one of the things that you also have to remove if you don't want it breaking down all the time. In addition to all of that, the EGR, the exhaust gas recirculation, you have to block that off. These cars are known to have carbon buildup issues. So if you don't block that off, you're gonna have some problems. And in fact, and I did this recently to my car, Kassel Performance actually did this for me recently, that instead of just blocking it off and leaving the EGR cooler in place, you have to actually remove the EGR cooler and put a race pipe. And they just call it a race pipe because it's basically removing the EGR cooler and putting a pass-through in it, because the EGR cooler will eventually start leaking. So you have a boost leak through there, and you'll have radiator fluid leaking through there. So definitely all of those things need to go, and when you do all of that, you need to put a tune on it. The car won't work unless you tune it after you do all these things. So you get a tune, you can go to Kassel Performance, you can get a custom tune, you can go to Beamer Performance Center, they have their own tunes as well. You can go to, there's Malone Tuning, there's a bunch of places that tune it. My recommendation is, if you're anywhere in the Northeast, anywhere near York, Pennsylvania, you should definitely go to Kassel Performance. They are awesome. They'll give you a custom tune for your car. They know what they're doing. They've done so many diesel swaps and so many diesel cars and X5s. They know what they're doing. All right, number 3, transmission oil change. So the transmission definitely says that if you go to the transmission website, it'll actually tell you that the 6-speed transmission in this car, which is the same 6-speed transmission used in the X535D, is the same 6-speed transmission used in Rolls Royces of the time. They need to have their oil change between 60 and 70,000 miles. Now, it uses synthetic fluid and it's actually pretty good. So I would say that you have a range between 60 and 80,000 miles between which you really should change your transmission fluid as well as a transmission fluid filter. And the filter is actually attached to the transmission pan, so you have to take the whole pan out, and it's a whole procedure to change the transmission fluid. You got to get it up to temperatures, you got to measure it correctly. It's a little bit of a process. I did it for my car not that long ago. Well, it actually was a long time ago, and it might need to be done sometime soon. But since I've done it to this car, I know for a fact this transmission will last a very, very long time. Sometimes you get the mechatronic sleeve start to have a couple of issues here and there, but that's mostly if you don't change the transmission fluid early enough. And you can repair the mechatronic sleeve for relatively cheap. I think $300 you can get it repaired. I've seen prices for between $300 and $400. You can ship it out and get it repaired if you need to. But you can avoid that if you change the transmission fluid sooner than what the manual says, because what the BMW manual actually says is that it's a lifetime fluid. Yeah, I was back when BMW was saying that, and do not follow that instruction. It is not a lifetime fill to change that transmission fluid. Now, this next item is a little bit controversial. Not everybody agrees with me that this is an item, but it definitely is, and this is a swirl flap deletes. Now, I meant to do a video of when my swirl flaps were deleted on my car. Kassel Performance actually did it. We went ahead and took the intake runners out, took the swirl flaps out, put these little metal block-off plates on there. It's very inexpensive. Kassel Performance doesn't charge much to do it. I think they charge $100 or maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. You can give them a call. But they really do a really fine job, very, very quick. If you own a diesel BMW, you need to delete those swirl flaps. Now, those swirl flaps are put in place for a little bit of better fuel economy, for a little bit of better air management. You don't need it. You really don't need it in your car. So take them out. So we're about halfway done, and I'd like to first apologize if you guys hear a whirring noise or something like that. The wheel bearing has gone bad on this car. It's not really a common thing for these things to go bad. It's actually very rare that they go bad. But like I say, this is my wife's daily driver, and unfortunately she's not as careful as she can be with those potholes. So she's hit a lot of potholes. I've had to replace a bunch of wheels on this thing. But the next thing I want to talk about is the thermostat. So the thermostat on these cars tend to fail, and they tend to fail at around 100,000 miles, possibly at around maybe 100, maybe 80, maybe 120. It depends on a lot of different things, but they do fail. And when they fail open usually, which is a good thing. If they fail closed, then when they do fail, you're gonna have overheating problems. Thankfully, they fail open, but what that does is it doesn't let the diesel engine get up to temperature, especially in the winter, but even in the summer. And I don't know if you guys know, but diesel engines actually do run cooler than gasoline engines. It's just the way they run. And if the thermostat doesn't work properly, then you're gonna have some issues. You're gonna have issues with the glow plugs eventually. You're gonna have issues with the vehicle not getting up to temperature, the oil not getting up to temperature. You're gonna get terrible mileage because when a diesel car is not up to temperature, it doesn't have combustion properly. So you're gonna have terrible mileage. It's gonna be a lot of different things. So the way you know if your thermostat's gone bad usually is you have a rough start in the morning. It doesn't really get up to temperature quick enough in the morning, especially if it's cold out, and you'll notice a fuel mileage drop off. So usually I get around 36 miles to the gallon on this thing. If the thermostat were to fail open, you would get around 28, 29, 30. You would feel it. You definitely feel it. So get that checked and get that changed. So we're up to number 6, and this is a quick one. This is a Harmonic Balancer. The Harmonic Balancer sits in front of the engine. It's basically a big rubber thing in the front that's supposed to reduce vibrations of the engine. It probably does, but it's made out of rubber. That thing fails. With heat, with cold, with the water hitting it, it fails. And when it fails, there's one of the few things that's going to strand you on this car, because it fails and it won't turn the alternator anymore, and you won't have power, and then you'll be broken down on the side of the road. So avoid that. I would change that Harmonic Balancer between 70 and 90,000 miles, somewhere along those lines. Sometimes they fail earlier, sometimes they never fail, if you're lucky. But I would go ahead and change that. It's not that expensive. You can get many different ones. I went ahead and got a kind of a performance Harmonic Balancer just because I kind of wanted a solid piece. But you can go any way you want, but be sure to change it. So we're getting to the end of the video. We're gonna go ahead and do these in a quicker fashion. So the next one is vacuum lines. So these cars have a lot of vacuum lines. They control different actuators, different turbo actuator, wastegates, and things like that. They do fail. They do fail, especially because they're near the turbos. There's 2 turbos on this car, and they do get a lot of heat. So after a while, I'd say around 60 to 70,000 miles, do look at them. If you have this car deleted and tuned, this car will actually run with broken vacuum lines. I know because I had for a long time a weird whooshing sound coming out of my engine bay. I had no idea what it was. Eventually I found out it was the vacuum line. So we got that changed, and I recommend you get that changed every 60 to 70,000 miles. Not that big a job. Again, Kassel Performance does an excellent job. They do it very quickly and very inexpensively, but you can do that in your garage if you really want to. It's a lot of little vacuum lines, and you can get that pretty much anywhere. The next one is glow plugs and the glow plug controller. Now, this has not happened to my BMW. I've always kind of been ambivalent about changing it, but it's something to keep in mind. The glow plugs and the glow plug control module sometimes go bad on this car. You will get a warning light whether or not you're tuned, so that does help, but you'll notice that sometimes you will turn on your car and it'll actually kind of shake more than it should, or it'll completely shake, and or it may not even turn on. It will just keep cranking for a bit, especially if it's cold out, and that may be due to a bad glow plug or multiple bad glow plugs and or a bad glow plug controller. All right, so the last 2 I'm going to talk about, very simple, very easy. I mean, this should make sense to a lot of people. The last 2 I'm going to talk about are first the oil changes, and second the way you drive it. So first, the oil changes. This car definitely benefits from Rotella. So of course, before you delete this car, you cannot use Rotella T6. It's not an approved oil, and that's because the ashes that get created from the Rotella oil don't do well with the DPF system, and that's just kind of a design that BMW had. So after you delete it, switch to Rotella T6. I've been using Rotella T6 for a very long time, and I've been changing it every 7,000 to 9,000 miles. That's a lot of miles, but I've gotten my oil tested by Blackstone Oil, and they told me that I can probably change it every 14,000 miles, but I don't like leaving oil in for that long. So every 7,000 to 8,000 miles, this car gets a lot of miles driven per year, and I've been just fine. I've used Rotella T6 5W40. That's the one I always use through the winter, through the summer. It's gone really well, and you can get them for pretty inexpensively, I think. I mean, 20 bucks for the gallons. I think you need 2 gallons for the oil change. It's not bad at all, and of course make sure you change the oil filter. So one of the items that a lot of people tend to forget on these 335Ds and other diesels that they own is the fact that diesels especially need very clean and well-maintained oil filters, because as you can see here, the injectors are basically the heartbeat of the engine. Everything is riding on those injectors, keeping clean. If any debris gets through the fuel filter and into the injectors, you're gonna have a problem. Now, one other part that the fuel filter does for the fuel system is that it does separate out the water, as you can see here, from the fuel. Diesel fuel tends to get water in it. You need something to separate it in order to, once again, preserve your entire fuel system. That goes from the fuel pump to the injectors, etc. I would say that I don't think the BMW injectors are any more susceptible to this problem than any other diesel engine or diesel system. So I would say at least once every 2 oil changes, change your fuel filter. I'm definitely not very good at keeping up with that. I should probably do a better job of keeping up with that, but change your fuel filter. And then finally, let's talk about the way you drive it. These cars definitely benefit from driving hard. Now, what do I mean by driving hard? I don't mean always beating the crap out of it, but I do mean at least getting it on a highway, driving long distances, making sure that you're driving, in a spirited manner, I would say. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fast, nothing that's gonna, don't break the laws if you can avoid it. But getting a good acceleration run lets the car kind of breathe, and it does do it a lot of good. It cleans everything out, gets things up to temperature. The car really does enjoy it. The transmission enjoys it. All of this is made to be driven hard like any other diesel would be. It's a little bit different than gasoline cars because gasoline cars don't always benefit from doing that. From diesel cars, for sure, benefit from longer trips and harder driving. All right, guys, that wraps this up. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I really enjoyed owning the car. I've enjoyed having this car as a daily driver for Jane for such a long time. It's going to continue to be part of the fleet. We're not going to get rid of it. We're not doing anything with it. I'm going to get it fixed, actually, so that wheel bearing will be fixed today. If you have any questions, put it down below. If you want to contact me, go and hit me up on my Instagram. It's FlyinGato on Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace.